Hi, and welcome to the Brisbane Professionals Podcast. This is a podcast brought to you by SMS Law, going through the legal secrets that will benefit you and your clients, as well as having a little bit of fun as we go. This podcast is designed to educate you on, number one, complicated legal terms that we will explain in an easy to understand manner. Two, to understand why you do things from a legal perspective in your business. And three, to help you develop a plan for the future success of your business. Our mission is to help empower small to medium-sized businesses around the world to get access to legal advice so that they can help build their communities and make the world a better place. Did you know that any business owner is on average 7 months away from losing everything? That is the average time that it takes from a successful business to fold when an aspect of their business is not set up correctly. This podcast is all about empowering you and your business with knowledge and tools to ensure that that doesn't happen to you or to your clients. Let's begin, shall we?
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Brisbane Professionals Podcast. My name is Craig Mason, and I have with me the wonderful Jeremy Stratton. So let everyone please, Jeremy.
Thank you, Craig. That's wonderful to call me wonderful. You're wonderful too. Thank you. And it's good to
Yes.
have everyone here today. Looking forward to our show today.
What a wonderful day. What we want to talk about today is something that's a big step in your business. It's about growing your team. So if you've got a business and you've been working out yourself and you're thinking about getting a team member involved, as I said, it's a big step. There's some things you need to be aware of and things you need to think about before you jump in and start employing someone. So, Jeremy, what would be a reason, or what do you need to think about in terms of the reasons to employ new staff?
Yeah, I think there's a temptation from some business owners just to go out there and employ people because I think they need to. And so really it comes back to, and something we talk about a lot in these shows is around what do you want? What's your goal? What are you trying to achieve in your business? So first of all, starting out with what that is. And look, some people just want to have a business and that's their job. And when I say just, I don't mean that in a bad way. That's just what they want. They want a business that is a job. And that's fine. And that's just usually them. But if you want to have any sort of scale, if you want to grow past yourself and really get that freedom that most business owners want, then you need to employ staff because they will usually take the time or give you back some time. They'll take some off you at the beginning, I was going to say, but they'll eventually free up your time to be able to focus on other things whilst they are taking care of some of the work. And there are certain things that you're not going to be good at doing as well. And so it's important to employ someone to do that, like the financial stuff, like entering stuff into spreadsheets. I just can't do that. So employing someone is an important part of doing that. So there's some reasons to employ new staff. Craig, do you want to talk about the different types of employment?
Yeah, absolutely. So you've looked at the reasons and you've said, yep, I want to get someone. And then you might think about the type of employment. So it could be you need a full-time person, part-time person, a casual employee, so someone on an hourly rate that works a certain amount of hours per week, for instance, or there could be a contract where they're working for 3 months or 6 months or something like that. It could also be that you don't need an employee. You might need to engage a independent contractor. And so you need to look at that, make sure you've got the relationship done correctly and you're not going to fall foul of any of the issues that Jeremy might talk about next, tax and those sorts of things. If it's an independent contractor, you may not have to pay those, but if the tax office here in Australia at least determines that that person was actually an employee, then you might have to pay that back. So be careful with that. But so you got the full-time, obviously they work full-time in your business. Part-time could be a set amount and casual on an hourly basis. Make sure you look at the award for the relevant person as well when you're doing that. Again, so you comply with the award for that particular industry. Jeremy, what about some of the obligations and costs that you might have with bringing on an employee?
Yeah, and something that's really important that when you're bringing on someone that you need to think about, what are the costs? So what's it going to cost you to pay them the salary? What's the tax and super obligations on top of that? Making sure that you've factored all that into your costs, making sure that you've set that money aside and that you can pay that. It's something that might seem obvious, but it's something that a lot of people don't do is actually to work out, okay, how am I going to pay this person if I employ them? So working out those costs. There are also other costs of, depending on the type of business that you have. If you have an office, maybe there's a computer cost. There's other costs that come with them. So really sit down and brainstorm. What are all the things that they're going to need to be able to do to do their job properly and to the highest standard possible, and then make sure that you factored in those costs, and also factor in the costs in the future too. Do you need to repair computers? Do you need to repair, upgrade software? They may be hard to know the exact amount, but you should at least estimate so that you know that what you're looking at expense-wise when you bring on this person. Craig, do you want to talk about the last one about potential impact on the team and business?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jeremy, you mentioned some hard costs that you can calculate, tax, super, computers, whatever else it might be. You've also got what I'd see is a hidden cost to your business or impact on your business, and that's on your team and on the business as a whole. So if you do have other team members, you bring someone else in, have you discussed it with them? What role are they playing? You're stepping on any toes in relation to that if you're not talking to them about it. And in terms of the business, there's got to be training. You might be spending a lot more time training that person. What's the cost of that to the actual business? So it's not something you can determine as in you pay an invoice or a BAS statement or whatever it might be, but it's the costs of you having to train that person and not be able to do something else during that time. So really need to think about the potential impact on your team and the business when you're growing it. So they're the considerations that we've had for today's show. Jeremy, is there anything else you wanted to touch on?
No, other than to say that, if you are looking at bringing on a team member, don't let what we've said scare you. It's just, these are things that we see people don't do. And so we wanted to just make sure that you're clear about what you need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it can be exciting, it can be daunting, but definitely a good step in your business to grow it. So as always, spend some time thinking about it. Don't just rush in and do it. Put aside some critical thinking time, as we also like to say on the show. All right, we're done for today, that is. That was the show about growing your team. Thanks for joining us. If you liked the podcast and you want to share it with your friends and family or the greater community, please rate and review the podcast on whatever platform you're receiving it on. Like the SMS Law Facebook page. We do distribute more other material throughout the weeks in that. Follow us on Twitter or search for us on LinkedIn and connect with us through that. As I said, we release articles and various other tidbits of information throughout the week that's helpful for the business community. So check it out. We're done. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.